Good morning. Welcome to Breaking Dawn.
All right, so good morning and welcome to Breaking Dawn this morning. It is Tuesday morning in Trinidad and Tobago and most parts of the world. And good morning to all of our regional and international viewers, those of you throughout the Caribbean. It's always a pleasure to have you viewing us, and we hope that everything is going good on your island as things are in Trinidad and Tobago. All right, because I like to think that, we're better off than what you see on a daily basis or here. Anyway, we have a lot to get through this morning. I have the road safety coordinator, Officer Brent Batson, will join us via the phone line in just a little bit. And we're going to continue this conversation with the demerit system from a policing standpoint. Yesterday we had the Director of Legal at the Ministry of Works and Transport, Mr. Marvin Gonzalez. I want to thank him for joining us once again and giving us the time. And we'll touch base with Officer Batson, because I think it's the police that have to really deal with the human aspect of things in terms of discretion and using discretion. And I just want to find out where the police service is at with that, because I think that discretion has to be applied in many of these instances. So we're going to talk about that. I got a lot of messages yesterday about people saying, Stephan, you have to champion this cause, about this demerit system, because it's unfair to drivers. And let me hear what Officer Batson has to say first, because he and I are going to go back and forth on this. All right? And a little bit later on, at 7 o'clock, we have the interim president of the Bar Owners Association, Teran Mohan, will join us via the phone line. He had an interview on another station yesterday morning that went over its time, and then I could not accommodate him yesterday within our programming. So I put him off until today. And coincidentally, the announcement was made that yesterday that bars will opening hours. Bars opening hours will now be from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. It's very interesting. I do not understand how a bar is supposed to survive on those during that period. It's better you close them. As far as I'm concerned, it's better you close them. Because they open during the day when people are working, and then by the time you get off of work 4 or 5 o'clock, you get through the traffic, whatever the case is, the bar is closing at 8. So it don't make no sense really stopping to get a drink. You might as well go home or to take a lime. So very interesting. I'll find out from him about that timing. Okay? So that's coming up at 7. We're also going to take a look at what's happening on the front page of the Newsday this morning, in between all of this madness. And that is that residents are up in arms over police killings. Mova wants justice. All right? And the government says bars must close by 8 p.m. Now, on page 3 of your Newsday this morning, residents up in arms over police killings. Mova wants justice. Tempers flared on Juman Drive, Mova, on Monday as residents took to the streets to express their anger and frustration over the killings of Joel Jacob, Noel Diamond, and Israel Clinton. Okay? And the three were shot dead by police on Saturday afternoon. Now, residents began the demonstration at around 10 a.m. on Juman Drive, Mova, where they burned tires and called for the suspension of the police officers involved. Now, we have, like I said, we're going to go through that footage, and we're going to talk about that. We'll get the public's view on that, because tomorrow we'll have Acting Inspector Pitt joining us, and I really, really want to find out where the police service is with this one, because I have watched that video. I've looked at the video, and something ain't right in that shooting. All right? Something ain't right. And I'm all for the police service. I support the police service. But when I look at that situation and how it unfolded, it ain't looking too right. So some of the residents interviewed oh gosh, is it Inspector Alexander? Inspector Alexander, they're still calling him Sergeant. I am not going to call him Sergeant, is that a gate out the system. But Inspector Alexander is it Inspector ACP? No, ESP. Oh gosh, I'll get the right rank for him. I'll message Pitt on that. I can't remember what he was promoted to, but they did interview him and speak with him yesterday, and we have some of that footage that we'll show you. But something is definitely wrong in that, and like I said, it's a very sensitive time for the police service. The police service has come under tremendous pressure, stemming from that George Floyd incident in the United States of America. And I've been saying that be careful what we ask for, because we had 538 murders last year with law and order, with the police service. So try to imagine what we'd have without that. So the police service is definitely an organization that is needed, but we do know it's not perfect. And on that note, that's why I have a problem with the demerit system as well. But we'll get to all of that. Lawyers to Griffith suspend cops involved in police killing. Law firm C.J. Williams and Company, in a letter sent to the Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, demanded the immediate suspension of the police officers involved in the shooting death of Israel Clinton and Noel Diamond, two of the three men who were killed by police in an alleged shootout on Saturday. All right, and Williams also called for the Commissioner to take a personal hand in the investigation into the three killings and an immediate review of the use of force policy used by police. Now you see, that's where we tread in a very thin line, that use of force policy. All right? But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that with Pitt come tomorrow. I don't want to go into that because let him explain that from a policing standpoint. Alexander on police killings, video not the whole picture. Responding to claims that he was at the scene of Saturday's police killing, Assistant Superintendent, ASP, for the Northeastern Division, Roger Alexander, visited the protest at Juman Drive, Mova, and tried to soothe tensions among the crowd. And Alexander said he was not on the scene at the time of the incident, but had seen the widely shared video of the shootings. And he said, quote, there may be some things that concern me, but please let us allow the investigation to move forward. In order for it to be transparent, we need every person who would have witnessed the event to come forward. Okay? And I understand that you're looking for witnesses, you're looking for people to come out and say they saw or they see or they didn't see or whatever the case might be. But the video footage, and I have another angle that we're going to review this morning. There's another angle outside of what we showed you yesterday. So there's another angle that we'll review as well this morning, and we'll review tomorrow with Pitt. But, you know, this is going to be a very, however this investigation goes and whatever decisions are made here is this is going to be a highly volatile situation. I already see that coming. All right? Man aged 22 killed parting a fight. Relatives of Jesse Mascal, a 22-year-old man who was shot dead while parting a fight on Saturday in Pity Valley, say members of the National Security Forces were present during the incident but are refusing to come forward. Members of the National Security Forces were present during the incident but are refusing to come forward. The relatives of the young man who had just gotten work at the newly opened Five Islands Water and Recreational Park are now calling on any people who had information on Mascal's killer to step forward. You know, that's just outside of the killing, which is a very sad thing. That opening of this Five Islands Water and Recreational Park, you know, I really look at the timing of that, you know, with the rolling out of the economy and the opening of bars and beaches and everything. And, you know, they've opened, and I'm just wondering, you know, how many people are they restricted to? I know it's a big area, but, you know, how are the restrictions going to work within that Five Islands water park? I'll be looking on. Relatives, Mango Dog killed in robbery. While police are still searching for a motive, relatives say Mali Mango Dog Valentine, who was shot dead on Sunday evening, was killed in a robbery. And relatives of a man killed in police shooting say victim was suing the state. Israel Clinton, one of the 3 men killed by police on Saturday, was years ago a victim of a police beating that left him in hospital for weeks, relatives said. And the article goes on page 5. All right. $172,000 in honey seized, 2 arrested. Superior CID officers with the assistance of the Southern Division Task Force and Acting Corporal Prince intercepted a truck and found 43 buckets of honey in a tree of the vehicle, or in the tree of the vehicle. All right, and well, that article goes on. $172,000 in honey, boy, that's real honey, you know. Economists on BP petrochemical sale, sign of changing energy market. You could read that on page 6. Mark says bill gives CJ unprecedented powers. Which bill is this now? Opposition Senator Wade Marks said new legislation empowers the Chief Justice but undermines the Chief Magistrate. He was contributing to the debate on the miscellaneous amendments number 2 bill in the Senate on Monday, and he said he had never seen 36 bills amended in one piece of legislation and claimed the government was attempting to confuse very critical, dangerous, and far-reaching provisions in the legislation. And he added that the bill provides an unprecedented concentration in one office holder while undermining other office holders. I'll have to find out a little bit about that bill. I'm not too familiar with it. Farm workers head to Canada this week. Toothache brings early end to murder trial. Minister responds to landslide fears. Bonds Road developer addressing soil erosion issues. Now, oh gosh, this is a Gary Aboud clip. Lord, since Friday I've been trying to slip that in the program, you know, and we have so many things happening, it's unbelievable. Rambarat says assistance for bad weather victims this week. Belmont resident said, I can't sleep since my roof blew off. That was another piece of footage that we had yesterday that we were supposed to get through. With all this bad weather that was taking place all over Trinidad and Tobago and people's roofs being flown off. There were some guys trapped in a vehicle. It was all happening on Saturday. And that is just a little taste of some of the bad weather that will come later on in the year. And the Ministry of Works and Transport, I am just bringing it to your attention. I passed by on Makarapa Road opposite Fatima College. The Maraval River. You all had, you know, I can't understand it. For the love of God, I cannot understand it. You all had an entire quarantine period. You had a period of downtime in Trinidad and Tobago. You had a period where people were home, where people were unemployed. And we had a period where we could have created employment for at least a few within their communities to clear these rivers and water courses and work alongside the drainage division just to increase the manpower and pay people a day's wage. Now, does that make sense to anybody else except me? In the dry season. Okay? And I'm talking about doing this. I mean, this could have been done in an organized manner. The same way that we take temperature readings and we test people just to make sure by the temperature and whatever the case is, when they're going into it, the same way we could have gone about doing this. You apply to join the drainage division. You go in, you get swabbed, you get whatever, you know, and in 14 days' time, when you come up negative, you know, or after the 24-hour period or whatever, when you come up negative, you're hired. Okay? And you create employment. And we could have cleared all these rivers and water courses. I am driving around and I'm saying, but what has been going on? Because work didn't stop on the Career Palm interchange. Work didn't stop on the Arima Hospital. Work didn't stop in terms of handing out keys for houses. So why we at this position now where we're in the rainy season, as usual, and now we're going to be hustling and bustling, and you can't use COVID as an excuse. Because like I said, other projects were taking place as far as I'm concerned. And we do that every single year, and every single year I'm sitting here talking about it. And then rain come, and then the rivers burst the bank, and then the flooding start. And people are not compensated. And they're still waiting on compensation from last year's floods. And some must be waiting from here before. And I mean, we need to be a little more organized than that, man. And I saw an article just a little while back where the Minister of Works and Transport, Minister Rowan, sitting and was saying it's going to take 5 more years for flood relief. So you need 5 more years to fix that. So it begs the question of what was going on within this 5 years? That you could come at the end of 5 years and tell me you need 5 years to fix it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, pass by Fatima College. Look at the Maraval River. I'm not a tall fella, but the bush twice my height. I kid you not. So people not passing there and seeing that corporation people, because you know what, I'm gonna message local government minister Kasim Hussain on that. Young says more nationals being brought home. I saw that there was an article where our nationals in the UK that I spoke about, who are out of funds, they're being accommodated by one of the security agencies. Oh gosh, I can't remember the exact one. Out there in the UK, I see they were clamoring to come home. There are some students in other places that are clamoring to come home. And he's saying more nationals being brought home, slowly but surely. So we'll see where that goes. But you know, they're taking people in as best as they can manage the situation. And I have no problem with that. Once you're taking them in on a priority basis or a case-by-case basis, I have no problem with that. And I've been saying that throughout this entire period. This could have been done throughout the whole COVID period. Government response to reports of irresponsible behavior. Bars must close by 8 p.m. In response to the reports that physical distancing and safety guidelines were flouted by bar patrons, National Security Minister Stuart Young on Monday announced that there would be a new schedule for the operating hours of bars to clamp down on errant customers. But there were certain measures that the government themselves were supposed to take before the bars were opened. And I understand that that was not done. That the bars weren't visited by health officials, laying out all the rules and regulations and the stipulations that they have to abide by. But I'll find out from the interim president of the Bar Owners Association what was done and what was not done. Because if you don't meet your end, you can't expect, I mean, there has to be balance. And that's my problem again with the demerit system, for those of you who don't understand what I'm saying. There is a lack of balance, if you ask me. And the people are going to feel it the most are the poor people. They always feel it. And nobody, and we defend the actions that people take in certain positions that they have of authority, that when taking these decisions, making these decisions and taking these actions are felt by the average man, the grassroots man, the small businessman, and we defend that. And I always sit here and say, I'm a man for the people. I'm not for no jacket and tie, nothing. I'm for the people. And I hear the people. And I in Laventry Road and drivers stopping me, hey, soldier, don't let up on that, you know. Don't let up on that, you know, that everything, you know. Talk about that, you know, because these are people that are stopping random and telling me about these things. And people have a problem with it, they have issues with it, and it needs to be addressed. We can't be designing things and people have concerns and we just turn a deaf ear to the concerns. We must address it. We must address it. And that's my problem. When we do things like this, it is the poor man that feels it in their pocket the most. And I'm just saying, it shouldn't be like that. And we should stand up for ourselves. And the people who are just like us, walk in the same, in the same walk of life as us. So anyway, we'll talk about that. Oh boy. 22 million cross-crossing bridge finally open. Mixed views in South on bar hours reduction. The Bar Owners Association of Trinidad and Tobago on the fence about reduced hours. Like I said, we'll talk to the interim president about that. All right, and USTT tax info sharing not affected by Delcy visit. And that's the next thing. This fuel gate thing is a very serious thing. It's a very serious thing. And it has not gone away. I guarantee you that. Because there's some other information floating around out there that I'm getting my hands on. I'm going to get my hands on soon. And we'll, I have to look at it first and then see how authentic and so on and so forth it is. And then, we present it to the people, man. So I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break. When we come back from the break, we have Officer Brent Batson, who is the Road Safety Coordinator for the TTPS, and he will be on the line with us. So stay tuned for that. All right, this is Breaking Dawn. We have that to deal with. We have MOVA protests to deal with, police shooting to deal with. We have the Bar Owners Association to deal with, and so much more. So don't go anywhere. Full show. You think now start. Let's go.
Unique Woodworking Trinidad Limited and Unique Lumber Guyana Incorporated are premium manufacturers and exporters for high-quality wood and steel doors, bifolding sliding and pocket door systems, operable louver shutters, hardwood floors, staircases, and decks. We specialize in bank counters, office furniture, cabinetry with granite countertops, and over 500 architectural molding designs. We provide complete outfitting for hotels, resorts, hospitals, banks, tertiary institutions, condominiums, and residential projects. We also supply kiln-dried greenheart, mahogany, cedar, and teak lumber locally and regionally. Our logs are cut and shipped by Unique Lumber Guyana and properly dried in our computerized kiln at our factory's facilities in Trinidad. For over 32 years, our products have been standing strong, and we are committed to providing after-sales support. Visit our showroom or check out our website at www.uniquedoors-tt.com. It's the quality that makes us unique.
Planning an event? At Reality of a Dream, we have everything to make your event memorable. Corporate functions, moderate gatherings, family occasions, christenings, and more. We also cater for weddings, providing you with top-of-the-line transportation and service on your special day with a beautiful Mercedes-Benz car and driver. Our venue includes a majestic entryway which takes you along a path to a fantastic indoor facility which can accommodate up to 80 persons dining and making way for the wonderful, well-maintained swimming pool and gazebo. At Reality of a Dream, we have a must-experience modern bar facility where guests can sip and socialize. We have now included our brand new fully inclusive Dream Suite, which comes with all modern conveniences where guests can enjoy the feeling of an exquisite retreat where you can stay the night or weekend overlooking the entire area. We provide secured parking for guests, and the tables and chairs are included for all events. So call us at 332-6880 and ask for Harriet, located at number 15 Moses Avenue in San Juan. Reality of a Dream, making dreams come true every day.
July is here, but times have changed. The advent of COVID-19 brought with it a number of adjustments in the way we conduct ourselves. And in September, students prepare to head back to school after 6 months of being away. A major interruption in the learning process. But this year's challenges for back to school extend far beyond the usual. The economic landscape in many cases make it impossible for some parents to provide the most basic and necessary items for their child for back to school. So, for yet another year, the team at Synergy Entertainment Television introduces our Adopt a Student initiative. For the last 3 years, through our relationships with guidance counselors, social welfare, public assistants, principals, and teachers from across the country, we are able to identify not just the students in need of support and assistance, but those with a special spark, a drive to achieve despite their circumstances. This year, with the support of viewers, corporate sponsors, and other philanthropic individuals, we intend to provide 40 40 students from across the country with books, uniforms, and a personal tablet or laptop for back to school. As always, throughout the campaign, the focus is on the student and not their negative circumstance. We place special emphasis on their interests, ambitions, achievements, and goals, as our intention continues to be to ignite opportunities for growth and development rather than implement yet another charity drive. If you wish to support this initiative, then join with us. Adopt a student today. For details, contact us at 285-9036 extension 200 or email admin@synergytv.net. Adopt a student. Become a part of the solution by making an investment in change.
At Green Dot, we're making it easier for you with the all-new G-Dot customer portal. Get 24/7 access to your account from all your smart devices. View your account status, see your active services and hardware, view your balance, pay your bills, set up recurring payments, and more. Simply visit gd.tt today and register with your account number and email address to access this service. The all-new G-Dot customer portal. It's just one of the ways Green Dot is making it easier for you. Green Dot, improving and simplifying lives.
Welcome to Steamy Clean, a fresh new way to have your vehicle cleaned using 100% steam inside and outside. Located at number 141 Eastern Main Road, Barataria, Steamy Clean is ultra hygienic and the newest way to sanitize and keep your vehicle looking great. Eliminate odor, freshen upholstery, steam clean vents, remove bacteria and allergens. Steamy Clean uses only eco-friendly products, so have the child seat cleaned and protect baby from dust, germs and viruses. Steam clean and shine your vehicle's exterior or steam wash your engine. They also offer professional and reliable underwash services. It takes just 10 minutes for the exterior and another 10 minutes for the interior. Steamy Clean, the all-in-one car cleaning stop. Check them out at number 141 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, or call 221-9274. The newest way to clean is now the best way to clean. Steamy Clean, open Sundays to Sundays, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Air conditioning problems? Then look no further. A&K Air Conditioning Supplies offers you an easy solution for all your automotive, commercial, and domestic air conditioning needs. With 2 convenient locations to serve you, A&K Air Conditioning Supplies offers you an extensive range of parts and services, including pressure test kits, refrigerator parts, front and rear evaporators for maxi taxis. They also cater for both foreign and local automobile models like Kia, Hyundai, Honda, Nissan, and more. So pay them a visit today at either of their 2 locations. Number 36 Alfonso Street, Sangre Grande. Phone 784-2707 or 386-5700. And number 133 Corner Roland Street and Bonaventure Main Road, Gasparillo. Phone 312-2245 or 782-9720.
Okay, so welcome back to Breaking Dawn. Now, yesterday we started a discussion with the Director of Legal as it relates to the demerit system. And this morning I promised you that we would have the Road Safety Coordinator of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, Sergeant Brent Batson, joining us this morning to talk about the policing standpoint and how the police will be approaching you or using their discretion in terms of the issuing of these tickets and these demerit points. Okay, which if you happen to rack up a certain amount of demerit points during the course of the year, it could lead to you your license being suspended, or you could be banned you could be banned permanently in some cases or for a while. So we'll talk to Sergeant Batson right now. We have him on the line. Good morning, Sergeant Batson.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, everyone.
All right, it's a pleasure to speak to you again.
Likewise, sir.
First off, I want to start off by saying that I know that you have been one of the officers out there working very, very hard in terms of road safety. And,
right.
I applaud you for that. All right?
Thank you, sir.
So I want to take this discussion down the road of the human aspect of policing in terms of the demerit system and some of the concerns of the public.
Okay.
Now, it started when on Thursday, I myself, I got a ticket for speeding in the Trinidad City area for being 7 kilometers above the speed limit.
Right.
All right? Now.
This is on the highway or this is on the main road?
This was on the highway.
Okay.
Okay, this is on the highway coming down from Trinidad City there by Orange Grove, in the Orange Grove area. Now, I was pulled aside, and the officer was very pleasant, very professional. I cannot complain about the officer's conduct. All right? But let's start with this speeding aspect of things first, okay? Because this is what most drivers, I think, will be pulled over for. 7 kilometers. Now, at the time, I did not know, and I went and I researched it after, and I saw in the booklet there was a layout of 0 to 9 kilometers above the speed limit, $1,000 fine, no demerit points. And then 10 to 20 is a different fine plus demerit points, and 20 to 30 and over 31 is $3,000, I believe it is, and 6 demerit points. Right? So there it varies. Good. Now, my question is, in terms of that 5, 6, 7 kilometers above the speed limit, a driver, okay, because I was talking about things in theory and what is practical. Sometimes you're driving, you're not speeding, you're staying within the speed limit, but while you're driving, you might have another passenger in the car, you all might be conversating, you might be listening to the radio, you may not even know that you have applied the slightest of pressure to the accelerator, in which case, having that applied, the needle will go up, okay? Now hear me out here.
I'm listening now.
Right, so when the needle goes up gradually, you may not be paying attention to the speedometer. But you might go over the 100 marker, and then you might glance down and realize you're over the 100, and you take your foot off the pedal and it comes back down. Okay? Now there are many different reasons why that might happen, because sometimes you don't even feel if you're driving with the windows up and the air conditioner on, you may not even feel the speed of the vehicle increase.
Yes.
And then in that moment, now you get pulled over for speeding. Now my thing is, I have no problem with fines and demerit points being handed out to reckless drivers. Drivers who speed on a daily basis 130, 140. But, and I'm not speaking for me, I'm speaking for in general for a lot of people who might get caught a few kilometers, is $1,000. You know, $1,000 ain't easy to pay in this time especially. You know, is the discretion of the officer, I mean, what is the discretion of the officers, or what have they been told, or how have they been told to use their discretion in situations like that? Because it comes across like you're asking drivers to be perfect.
Yes.
Not be human and subjected to slight errors on the road.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So, okay, great. So again, pleasant morning to everyone, right?
Sure.
So what we're addressing is the human factors as it relates to risk and how risk is placed on the roadway itself. Drivers, other motorists, other road users for that matter, even with the passengers, pedestrians.
Yeah.
Now, you use an interesting point in the sense that you said, officers' use of discretion. But it's the same discretion the motorist has in practicing, looking at how fast he's going to begin with. General practice, I don't drive beyond 90 because I have a 10 kilometers leeway. And that's built in our discipline that comes over time. This whole system has totally changed the enforcement side of it for behavior change. And I want to get that clear. Let's look at the first thing you said. I don't have a problem with points being applied to reckless drivers.
Right.
Or fine to reckless drivers. But you got no points because you were within that realm of 0 to 9. So it's recognized that you didn't pose a high risk as per se of your breach of exceeding the speed limit up to 9 kilometers an hour. Whereas the points apply after that, where you start to increase the risk to the road network. We also have the issue with regards to, let's even look at the historical, we have a speed limit that was raised to 100 kilometers an hour recently, and therefore, as you well know, the result of a crash at speeds in excess of 100 kilometers an hour, just 5 can make a major difference. God forbid if it impacts a pedestrian, even hitting another vehicle. I always have to remind other motorists, you can't control what other people are going to do on the road. And what's going to make a major difference is speed with regards to the outcome of the crash.
Right.
With the high patrol, we see this all the time. We saw a young driver lose control and actually kill a couple just last week.
Right.
A husband and wife lost their lives
in
a beside the road. Yeah, in the Trinity, correct. So again, though, all this is aimed to prevent these tragedies, regards to whether it's speed control, whether it's DUI enforcement, and these are global road safety best practices for road safety management.
Okay.
Again, to change drivers' behavior, we have to target attitudes. We have to target culture. It's just like when we brought breathalyzers out, and everybody's saying, oh, that's not for here, that's first world country thing you're bringing here, and no, people start to complain. We start to see the culture change when people looking at how much they're drinking, people going to fets and taking maxis and that's a positive sign. We have seen in the past, we're one of the few countries in the last 10 years to see almost 50% reduction in road traffic deaths. Right. And so far for this year, we're 13% lower. Yeah. And we will never know whose families we saved.
Right.
But we're making that difference to keep people together and make it safer for everybody else. Because road traffic crashes, as you know, do not discriminate for anyone. And that's why it's so important to understand this is new. And we understand it comes across as a bit harsh for 7 kilometers an hour to have to pay $1,000 fine. But I'm also appealing to everybody, but let's also understand that it is not business as usual as we try to change Trinidad and Tobago to become one a little bit more disciplined, especially as it comes to road use. Mm-hmm. All right, and that means adjusting, like I said, how we look at the speedometer, making sure before you pull off. A good example, a guy pulled out from a gas station recently, he drove on the highway, he went straight into a roadblock, and he drove out to the gas station and forgot to put on his seatbelt. What does the officer do? You see he has discretion. But he says, well, we have to remind you, your procedure is sit, click, and drive.
Yeah.
You want to make sure and have that seatbelt because things can happen on your road. Well, could he give a warning? That discretion is always there. Sure.
Okay. Now, I understand that with the discretion and everything, but $1,000, like I said, is no easy sum of money to pay. I mean, I go and pay my ticket, right? I pay my ticket.
Yeah.
There are people who may not be able to pay that ticket within 30 days in one payment. Now, my thing is this. In terms of the system and how it's set up, okay, and a lot of people put this suggestion forward while we were having the discussion on Friday.
Sure.
And I do not know if the police service could accommodate for that. I'm saying simply, what is the position technology-wise of the database systems that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has for the vehicles, the patrol vehicles on the road? Because this was my suggestion, right? Now, you might disagree, but I'm saying if a driver is pulled over and that driver is going between 0 and 10 kilometers, okay? And you pull over the driver and you take the license and insurance and you take the driver's name, the license number, everything, the permit number, everything. Do we have the technology to enter that information into a database? And because the driver was between 1 to 9 kilometers, you issue a warning, and because it's been entered in that database now, the next time that driver is stopped, whether it's 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers over the speed limit, because now by the warning you have trained the driver to know that, hey, we out here, but we let you off with a warning this time.
Yes.
Okay? Do we have that database technology that in the event that that driver is stopped again, and the officer takes the permit, and they get the name and the permit number, and they enter it into the system, and they see it pop up, warned on March 22nd, 20 so and so, for speeding?
The answer is yes. That is one of the new features of this new U-turn system, right? That ability to pull up that information.
Right.
Now, that being the case, and I always want to just emphasize the public role and function.
Okay.
The traffic, the police officer's role and function is public safety and enforcement of the laws of the land. That discretionary option he has, like I said, nobody can remove that.
Right.
And that's why sometimes, I always say, if if you get caught in a traffic exercise, their role and function out there is literally out there for traffic enforcement. And that's why, and it's all I emphasize, that's why you'd find that, for example, with the Highway Patrol Unit, they operate on a zero tolerance almost system, because their jobs is road safety and risk management on roads. So you find that they have, whereas it's true they have the ability, you find that because they see the consequences unsafe or poor decision making, that they have a very low tolerance for persons' excuses for breaching the law. They are asking the public, listen to me, please pay attention to your speedometer. We can actually, let's focus now or divert so much with regards to officers' discretion and reminding the public the importance of, one, paying attention to how fast you're going, two, inspecting your vehicle before you drive, make sure you're wearing your seatbelt. So doing these proactive measures so that you don't fall on the wrong side, and hope you get an officer that might be softer and apply more discretion to the situation.
Okay, now you mentioned something there, right? Because I know we only have a certain amount of time to get in what we have to get in, right? You talk about inspecting your vehicle before leaving. Now, the demerit system is also being applied to drivers with defects on their vehicles, correct?
That's right.
All right, nice. And the public is saying, and this is a fact, in terms of a bulb that blew, or other defects that could happen in a split second, right? At any point, any given point in time, because you're dealing with electronics, you're dealing with technology, you're dealing with a machine. And a machine could malfunction at any time.
Agreed.
Good. So, why are people's vehicles being inspected and then they hit a fine and demerit points immediately without the opportunity or being given the opportunity, whether or over a 7-day period, or I say in 7 days is enough, to have the problem rectified, show up at the police station, have the police inspect it to see that they've had the problem rectified, and let them go without the fine and the demerit points. Why are we immediately punishing people for defects on their vehicle when people have decisions to make in their daily lives? Now, and I raised this point the other day, and somebody replied to me and said, but it's like they're punishing you for being poor. Because if I have a family and I have to make a decision on a daily basis, right? And whether I put food on the table, especially coming out of a time like this, and we know this is hard economic times, because we're coming out of a very difficult economic period coming out of COVID-19. And people have day-to-day decisions to make. So a man might say, boy, put food on the table, and next week when I get paid, I might buy a better tire. No, I understand that driving on the road with a tire that is not proper for the road is a dangerous situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a person might make a decision like that based on their economic position at the time.
Yes.
But they do have the intention of buying the tire.
That's right.
So we're stopping this guy, we're saying, okay, we're stopping this person, we're saying, all right, you have a defective tire, your tire not roadworthy. Fine demerit points. So now we've issued a fine to a person who just couldn't afford a $250 tire. So the person now had to pay the fine within 30 days and buy a tire for $250. Now, shouldn't it be afforded to people to at least have the problem rectified first before we issue the fine?
And I want to be clear on this. I hear you, sir. Don't get me wrong. I have been in situations where there was a guy with a defective, he had no taillights, right? I gave him the opportunity to bring it to the traffic branch.
Right.
Within 12, well, it happened in the night, so I told him, even come during the day to verify that you change your bulb, and I'll be content with that. I brought it during the day. That is my discretion.
Right.
It's not standard, so and this is what I want to be. So the law doesn't require me to do that, right? But like you said, I'd rather you spend that money on the bulb, right, than have to, and therefore remedy the offense.
Okay.
Rather than just spend that money in a fine.
Right.
Because I have therefore reduced the risk at that point.
Okay.
At the other side, let's look at it this way, because there's another area here, and I know we're running out of time.
No, you go ahead.
When the officers are out there, and this is what I want to be clear, and we're dealing with people that have tires down to canvas, and sometimes 1 or 2 tires, and we hear that, you need this car to go to work, because we hear all the excuses, sir. And we hear it's genuine pain that people are going through because that's the job he has.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that you're going into rainy season, and the consequence, we are in rainy season actually, the consequence of that ridiculously smooth tire on a wet road surface is posing risk to yourself and other people's families who have nothing to do with the choices you're making right now.
I understand that.
And this is why I'm saying it's a very tough balance sometimes. And I agree with you. There are some officers which can and probably should use a little bit more discretion to mitigate that risk. I also want to mention, and this is really important, like we've been on an enforcement exercise where truck drivers, and this is what I want to emphasize, truck drivers on tractor-trailer units have sometimes 2 smooth tires. And the sad part is they told us, well, we told the boss about it, and the boss told me to still drive the truck.
Good point.
They issue the ticket now,
right.
And where's the boss man might pay the ticket?
Did he
because the points going on the driver.
No, is that fair?
Which is not fair. And this is what I'm saying. Even employers especially fleet owners, have a greater responsibility with regards to ensuring proper fleet management practices now.
Okay.
Because,
Now, on that note, right? Shouldn't the law, if we're going to do good law and we're going to bring a system in place, shouldn't it accommodate for situations like that where a driver, because if the driver say, boss, I'm not driving that, because if I go out on the road, I could get the merits on my license. And the drivers and the boss say, well, if you're not driving,
I'll find the next driver
tomorrow.
I'll find the next driver.
Right, or I'll find the next driver. Now, shouldn't the system, if we're going to design a system like this, shouldn't it be designed to protect these type of individuals who are drivers for companies that are driving a fleet of vehicles that may have defects?
Well, you see again, even across the world, I just want to be clear, right?
Yeah.
Where the driver, how this is seen is that it's the driver's responsibility to ensure he or she is driving a safe vehicle, right, before he departs. Now we're going into almost occupational and labor issues there once we start to go down this road. And this is why, probably, for example, if I work for a large company which I know I'm being supplied with defective equipment, what you are now doing is that you actually have the OSHA laws leaning in your favor to report this issue because it's going to affect your livelihood. If your livelihood is a driver and you continuously get demerit points because of the employer's equipment, then it's going to affect your life because that is your occupation.
Right.
And it's going on your system. So it brings into perspective that bigger discussion and bigger responsibility now. And again, the discretion of the police to be applied in certain situations. We have gone to speak to large trucking companies here to let them know how this shifts now against them as well,
Okay. Now I want to ask you this, because there's another part of the system that is unclear to me. If I go to an inspection center and I have my vehicle inspected, now corruption, and I raise this point because corruption happens almost in every institution, in the police service. We could admit that. No institution or organization is perfect. And it's open to corruption. So I go to an inspection center, or somebody goes to an inspection center, let me say me, someone goes to an inspection center, and they get their vehicle inspected and passed, and the sticker goes on, and then they come out onto the road, and 3 days later the police stop them and say, hey, look, you have a defect here. And you turn to the people and say, but look, I just went and got my inspections sticker.
Yes.
The police officer says, well, whether you went or you didn't, whether you went yesterday, day before, last week, you have a defect here on your vehicle that should not have passed. That should not have passed inspection if it does have a defect. But what happens in a situation like that? Is the inspection center to be held accountable?
No, well, all right. So, first of all, I cannot say whether or not, for example, that when he did inspect, he had 2 working headlights, and now that 3 days later, he only has 1, correct?
Correct.
Right. Now, the law enforcement officer's job at this role is to deal with the offense there and then. If he wants to contest it and bring evidence towards the court where he inspected it and it showed that he did have 2 working according to the inspection checklist, because the checklist is the evidence of everything that was thoroughly went through, right?
Right.
And the magistrate used the discretion, so okay, I agree with you. I'm going to not apply the fine and give you the opportunity to remedy and then present it to the police, right? So that is still there and access to it. The problem is the unfairness to have to go through it, if you understand what I'm saying.
Right, because when, in your response to what I just asked, you opened by saying you would not know if the 2 headlights were working when the vehicle was inspected, and it wasn't working 2 days after when the police stopped them.
That's right.
And for that reason, because you have no way to establish that, a warning should be issued, and the person should the discretion should be, to me it should be mandated. We should not depend on the human aspect or the policing aspect or whatever mood an officer wakes up in that morning. Because I understand that police officers, they go through their stress too and their frustration when the day comes. They have their family issues, their financial issues, their emotional issues to deal with.
No, and I hear you, but what I want to separate, I just want to leave this with the public to really make sure your listeners understand and your viewers.
No problem.
Our job is public safety.
Right.
When we stop you on your highway and you have sometimes even 2 headlights not working.
No, well, that's just ridiculous.
Well, let's go for it, or let's say 1. And when you put on your high beam now, low beam, and it's still 1. And you're going to drive to Miaro, and the areas you're passing have lots of pedestrians, and you only have the visibility of a motorcycle now.
Yeah.
So we need people to wake up. This is what the law did, and I'm sure Marvin would have mentioned it. This changes the entire aspect, the way the law views the responsibility attached to vehicle use on the roadway. And it shifts it as a greater burden to drivers and operators, and even vehicle ownership. What is coming later on with regards to the registration plates and the camera systems coming on board, it's really sending a warning to me to Trinidad and Tobago that, hey, it's not business as usual. Let's understand this, and don't get me wrong, some internal training with the police and licensing and all, and even wardens who issue tickets as well, with regards to understanding the circumstances right now economically, and being real with regards to how you can address risk to remedy it.
Yeah.
It's a discussion we can have internally, and I recognize that.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I just ask in the public, you're out there, as you correctly said, you have a mix of people that come with different attitudes. You just said that.
Yeah.
And one person might come out on the road with a bad day, and he's just out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to minimize that, let's just be a little bit more proactive. Make sure you just do that walk-around check, especially at night when your lights and your night offenses might occur, and do the right thing as best as we can.
All right, I just have 2 questions, but on that note that you said there, we are also asking as the public that the officers do understand the genuine trials and tribulations that the average citizen goes through.
Yes.
And do exercise some level of discretion before issuing a $1,000 ticket, although no demerit points may be applied, and even in situations of defective vehicles, at least with the understanding and using the discretion that, okay, listen, I'll give you 3 or 4 days to fix this, come to so-and-so police station for so-and-so time, and let me see that you got the problem rectified. In order, we're just asking, I think that's all the public wants to know. The public wants to know that, listen, the officer will use their discretion and not just, do the police officers have a quota that they have to meet when anyone comes? In tickets? Hello?
Yeah, not at all, sir.
Oh, there is no quota because there is a perception that like the police have a quota to make when the bond come? Because
No.
1 minute they don't see the police coming on drivers for every little thing, which goes back to the issue of discretion, that there is a discretion that is used for a particular part or a particular period of time during the month, and then all of a sudden they see police coming out and just handing out tickets. So people were under the impression that the police officers in the traffic branch, like they have a quota to meet when the month comes.
No, that's all good.
All right. And the other thing I want to mention here before we wrap up as well, weight of vehicles, the weight.
Sure.
I saw and I want to put this out there for people who are driving these transport vehicles that are transporting goods. What is the approach of the police service in terms of those sort of vehicles? How do you establish which vehicle you're pulling over? Are you all, how are you all approaching that with these vehicles that might be overweight?
Right. So again, that would be usually when we set up joint exercises with licensing.
Yeah.
We will focus on commercial vehicle enforcement.
Right.
So, a good example, closer to Antigua Road, where we know the quarry areas are.
Okay.
And again, what does the law require? We'd have to direct once we suspect, and this is what the law allows. I have reasonable suspicion from the evidence in front of me. For example, you will see some of these trucks, the whole leaf spring system, the suspension is under strain, even the tires, and they've even raised the side to carry more load.
Yeah.
And we will direct them into licensing for weighing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it's dealt with. They will have to find an opportunity. Once it fails or they've gone in excess of the MGW, then they'll have to remove the load and then go back to pass to verify that it's now legal for the road.
Okay. And one more question. Speed limits. And these are my problems with the system. I don't think the system was properly assessed first. I'll draw an example. We have different speed limits on different roads, which drivers are supposed to be aware of. We are supposed to have proper signage identifying these speed limits, which we do in most cases. There are two particular areas in the west or in Port of Spain area that I could speak about that I find some adjustments should have been made. I do not know the capabilities of making such an adjustment, but I'll give you the example. On the Beetham Highway, the speed limit is 100 kilometers per hour. When you're coming into Port of Spain and you pass the flyover and you're hit by Bhagwan Singh in Sealots there, the speed limit is 50.
Correct.
Good. Foreshore, the speed limit is 100 on the foreshore. 80, right.
Or the Jeffers Highway, yeah.
Right, nice. That is 80 there, not 100, 80. But when you reach the traffic lights by the Cocoreed Market and you pass there, there's this little piece of road.
Drops to 50.
It drops to 50. No. How could that be remedied? Because it puts drivers in a position of being caught in somewhat of a kind of unfair situation because a driver may not know. Or
I
a
understand,
driver may not be able to decrease. I mean, how are you supposed to get down to 50, even if you're doing 70? How are you supposed to get down to 50 within that little... I mean, if you get a red light, obviously you're not going to cross 50 because you're starting from 0.
Yeah.
And by the time you reach by peaks and you pass the gas station, you're back to 80 or whatever the limit is over there. It's either 80 or 100 on the Cocoreed Highway. So
Yeah.
how could that be remedied?
Right, so the setting of speed limits is purely in the remit of the traffic management branch of Ministry of Roads and Transport, where the traffic engineers are set, and then make that determination of the speed limits. Our job is to enforce what they put.
Okay.
So perhaps recommendations for what they call transitional speed areas.
Yes.
That makes more sense. Like I said, it's a good point, because we had it's funny you mention that. We had a person that was driving 80 on the Southern Main Road.
Yeah.
Because it was night, and everybody seems to think that police do enforce speed at night. Right. And this driver, she got the shock of her life when she was pulled over. And I want you to understand that she's driving 80 because the road is empty.
Okay.
And she was driving 82 kilometers an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So she got a $3,000 ticket on the Southern Main Road.
Wow.
You see, and this is why we're asking people, think about it. Pay attention to where you're driving. Pay attention to your signs, because the consequences are real. I mean, and she was crying at the side of the road.
All right.
You know, and like I said, genuinely so, because she's accustomed driving the 80, and she's accustomed not seeing the police sometimes.
Right.
But everything has changed. We are out there more. The commissioner has given a directive prioritizing road safety, and we're going to be out there doing our job.
And the speed limit for the southern main road is how much you said?
50 kilometers an hour.
50 kilometers per hour.
She was doing 82.
Oh boy. But is 50 realistic for a main road like that, on the southern main road?
Again, sir, that assessment will have to be made by the traffic engineers.
By the traffic engineers. And all main roads, is it that all main roads are 50?
50 right now, correct.
All main roads are 50. Well, all right, well, we're out of time, but considering the amount of traffic that takes place on a main road in the day, it would be highly unlikely that somebody would pick up a speed ticket during the day with all that traffic. But in the night, when it's clear, 50, well, yeah, all right. Well, you know, some things need to be assessed, and that's the thing. You know, and you know. So,
no, I just want to say, and thanks for the opportunity for the discussion, because it's important moving forward, you know, to remind people of how this system now impacts everybody.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for your time, Sergeant Batson, and we look forward to having you on the program anytime to deal with road safety issues.
Sure thing, sir. Take care.
All right, then. Thanks a lot. So that is Sergeant Batson, the road safety coordinator for the TTPS, and you know, he's a real cool dude, very fair individual. But I'm just asking him, and I think this is what the public wants most of all. I don't think that people are necessarily against the merit system, but it's the discretion. All right, we're just asking that the police officers use their discretion, all right, before issuing these fines, because these fines are quite hefty, and before taking the merits off of people's license in terms of defects to vehicles without giving them at least an opportunity to have the problem rectified. They should at least be given the opportunity to get it rectified. So we're going to take a break. When we come back from that break, we have the interim president of the Bar Owners Association. We're going to have a ton of calls that we're going to take in the second hour. But just bear with me. We have another interview, and that's coming up after the break. Stay tuned. We will be back after this.
Nabby's Medical Marketing, the one-stop shop for all your medical and surgical supplies, specializing in pharmaceutical, medical, and home healthcare supplies. Nationwide distributors to all pharmacies, private and public hospitals. Fully stocked showroom with a complete range of home healthcare products, wheelchairs, walkers, and even hospital beds. Sole distributors for the Cook Medical range of products, including in vitro fertilization products, invasive, as well as minimal invasive lines throughout the Caribbean. Nabby's Medical Marketing supplies all IV solutions and dialysis products. Also available, life support oxygen concentrators, nebulizers, and more. Exclusive at Nabby's, the new 6-in-1 mini lab, which can be used professionally or in the privacy of your home. Tests include glucose, total cholesterol, cholesterol HDL, cholesterol LDL, triglycerides, and hemoglobin. These machines are life-saving. Now at Nabby's, our latest addition is distributor for St. John's Medical, a complete range of first aid kits and essentials for your home, school, office, new parent, and more. Visit our showroom at number 5 through 6 Harris Street in QREP. Telephone 645-5577 or 662-7533. Nabby's Medical Marketing, the company with 40 years in the medical field.
At Green Dot, we're making it easier for you with the all-new G-Dot customer portal. Get 24/7 access to your account from all your smart devices. View your account status, see your active services and hardware, view your balance, pay your bills, set up recurring payments, and more. Simply visit gd.tt today and register with your account number and email address to access this service. The all-new G-Dot customer portal. It's just one of the ways Green Dot is making it easier for you. Green Dot, improving and simplifying lives.
Hello, I am Zalisa Budusingh Lukhani, inviting you to join me for Conversations with Zalisa. Our guests, authorities and strengths in their respective field will discuss health, law, divorce, and much more social issues will be explored. Answers to your unanswered questions, call-in segments, and lots of giveaways. Right here on Synergy TV, weekdays from 10 a.m. with with repeats at 3:30 p.m. daily.
Saddle Road, Santa Cruz, and environs. Come on down. You're the next customers at The Price is Right. The Price is Right Vegetable Mart, located opposite Uncle Beddoes Hardware at the red edge of Saddle Road, carries a wide variety of produce, fresh fruits, and vegetables filled with rich color, texture, and flavor. In addition to the best local brands of products for your shopping delight, including several top brands of beverages to quench your thirst. They also carry toiletries, sanitizers, household and baby products, and much more.
We also provide safe and secure parking.
But that's not all. If you're looking for meat, you can get that right next door at Chop Suey. Whether it's beef, chicken, pork, lamb, fish, or shrimp, Chop Suey got a fresh cut for you. It's meat, fresh produce, top branded products, all waiting for you at the Price is Right Vegetable Mart, opposite Uncle Beddoes Hardware at the red edge of Saddle Road. Come on down.
My parents' generation grew up with Royal Castle. From the first restaurant in 1968, when that distinctive, tempting aroma hit the air. Like never before, fried chicken with a special blend of local seasonings and a one-of-a-kind flavor down to the bone. Today, Royal Castle still have that same delicious taste, and I love it too. And the kids, they have more to enjoy. For me, the castle is more than just nice food. It's we own, part of me and you, and is the real flavor of TNT.
और बता क्या चल रहा है? फिलहाल हम खजूर खा रहे हैं। अरे लगता है बैकअप टीम आ गई। तुम रुको, हाँ हम आते हैं।
विक्रम?
यस।
विक्रम कौन मारा है तुझे? छोड़ मेरे भाई को!
If anything happens to my brother, I'll kill both of you.
We are not two. We're not 100. We are a whole country.
तुम्हारे देश को उस दुनिया के नक्शे से मिटा दूंगा।
No one can stop me.
Welcome to Dr. Love Rebirth Center for Herbal Solutions. Research suggests that you can build your immune system with our dietary supplement 30 ppm colloidal silver. Some people are spraying their face masks with Dr. Love's 30 ppm strength colloidal silver. Users of the herbal 100% safe eye drops claim it has done wonders for their cataracts. Studies have shown that the double barrel combination of L-arginine and L-citrine can clean your arteries and heart. We also carry a wide range of botanicals like hydrolyzed collagen, testosterone booster, ozonated olive oil, black seed oil, flashback, go-less, prostate protocol. Users of our dietary supplements are claiming that they have gotten relief. Contact Dr. Love for more product information. Become a distributor and earn extra income. Contact Dr. Love Rebirth Center at PTSC Terminal Mall, Kwesi San Juan, and Tree City Mall. Call us on 366-4058 or 478-9222.
We'll be asking the police, even though bar doors are closed, we know that some bars are closing their doors and are still encouraging patrons to be inside. We know that is going on. So we'll also be asking the police, once you start to see cars, imagine seeing 15 cars outside a closed bar. You know something is going on there. So we are just appealing to people. We do not want to shut down bars. We want the employment to go on. We want the economic activity to go on. We want all that to go on. But this one industry out of all the industries are simply not adhering to the guidelines and playing their part in the national response.
Minister Cox, if I may just add to that, what Minister Dialsing has just described is very clear in law. If you are found in a bar after 8 p.m. from tonight, you will be charged by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. They have the ability to charge you under the criminal law in pursuance of this legislation, the regulations. So the bar owners, bar operators, as well as anybody who's inside will be charged. And it's not only seeing your cars outside. If we are smarter than that, we've been monitoring it. We know that there are also people who are allowing people to park somewhere off and taxiing them in. We will do what needs to be done, and the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service will enforce the law.
All right, welcome back to Breaking Dawn. We're inside the second hour, and right about now, we are joined by the interim president of the Bar Owners Association of Trinidad and Tobago, and he's going to respond to the situation that's taking place with the bars. As you heard the Minister of National Security, they're restricting the opening time from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and we'll find out how the bar owners are going to deal with this. But let's find out a little bit, let's talk about how this happened in the first place. Okay? So, I want to say good morning to Mr. Teran Mohan. Teran, good morning to you.
Morning. How are you doing?
All right, I'm just fine, man. Now the bars have had it very difficult during this COVID period. You all were closed on the 16th of March. I've been mentioning that consistently because salary relief grants and other assistance, the time frame for that was from the 19th. So just give us an idea of how many people are employed by these bars.
So according to our numbers, from the research that we've done, there are approximately 20,000 directly employed within the establishments.
20,000, okay.
Yeah, as much as 20,000.
How have your workers been coping during this period of time? Have they been able to access any sort of assistance at all?
Not a red cent to date.
Nothing. So we have 20,000 people who got no relief. And
no relief.
I can't even. I'm going to say it. I would not expect the bar owners that would be paying their salaries over that 3-month period.
No, we couldn't. A lot of us, we couldn't extend ourselves so far. Some of us, we helped out our staff members, like maybe up to the first month or to the end of the first month, which was the end of March and early April.
Wow.
But after that point, there's really not much more that we could have done beyond that.
Wow. So, okay. So now this period has passed, and I understand some bars will not open. Some bars are closed for good.
Yes, some bars are closed for good. Those numbers have come from the last time we checked was up to about over a dozen.
Wow.
And that is ranging from small bars, from what is commonly known as a snack it or rum shop, to some of the bigger chains, well not bigger chains, but the bigger brands that you're seeing around.
Okay.
Yeah, that is how real this threat became. That is how real this shutdown was for many across the industry, regardless of the size. They just couldn't deal with it anymore.
Okay, so some of the bars have closed permanently, and now you all were given the opportunity to reopen recently, with certain restrictions, of course, in place, which I know you all agreed, and you're just happy to open. But some things did happen over the weekend. I think we have the footage from outside Naris, and some other videos had begun circulating. And the Prime Minister came out and he said, we will take action against these bars based on what we've seen on social media. Now, we know what we saw, and we know what the visuals were like. A ton of people outside in the road and so on and so forth. I passed on Arapita Avenue. A lot of the bars had people there, but they were working with the restrictions laid out by the government. But Nari himself, in an interview, said, these people were lining outside of my bar, which is out of my control. I can't come out and tell people to come on the public road. I don't own the road, right? I would imagine that along those lines is what he would be speaking. So that particular problem with people liming in the road, how does a bar owner, being one yourself, deal with a situation like that? Or was there something that was supposed to be put in place to deal with that?
Well, for starters, there are things that could be done very simply to avoid such a problem.
Okay.
Now, especially given the present climate of so many myself, for example, I am accustomed having a live DJ at my establishment on a Friday and a Saturday.
Right.
We have opted out of that, you know, and it broke my heart to not be able to bring my DJ back on. He's a very good fellow.
Right.
But it was necessary for us to show crowd control. We can't be doing these things, these sort of things, and then, you know, pushing it in an environment where we want to be attracting too many mass crowds, because we can't facilitate a mass crowd.
Correct.
So we have to keep it internalized. So these are these sort of measures that you could take in place. I know that those patrons outside the bar in Barataria, as well as other areas of the more dense areas, pavement liming or road liming is a very common, very popular thing.
Yeah.
All right. I myself, when outside of this present climate, I'm guilty of doing so as well.
Okay.
All right. Now, yes, this is a drawing factor that encourages that sort of behavior or that sort of culture. And the only way to do that now, is given the present climate, is to restrict on that and pull back from that. It is difficult to have to deal with the crowd control at that point.
Right.
Because as you rightfully say, how do I tell the people in the road or in the street or on the pavement that they can't line there, or let it go home, or let it go elsewhere? That's not a difficult thing to do. They're on public space, they're on public domain.
Right.
The establishment owner has a responsibility, yes, to his establishment and to the areas directly outside of his establishment. But when you cross that boundary line, that premises line, it really becomes more of a courtesy.
Okay.
All right. There's nothing for us to be able to enforce or to demand from the population when they're on the public surface.
Okay. Now, I understand exactly what you're saying. Okay. But the TTPS and other arms that the government have that they could have put to use here to assist the bar owners. Was that something that was agreed to, or something that should have been implemented? That maybe should have some, police patrols telling people, hey, you can't be there, that kind of way. Because it's very difficult to control a situation like that, man.
Yes, it is.
It is very difficult because, like you say, we have a culture of road liming. I myself am guilty of that, right? I go out on the avenue and I don't even go in the bar, I stand up on the pavement. So we this has become the norm.
Yes.
All right, and Naris is a place popular for that. Now, now that these times have been restricted, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., before that was implemented, or they took a decision to restrict the closing time by 2 hours, was any discussion held with the bar owners to see where you could meet in the middle?
Well, a broad statement was made in the release. That it was even indicated in the guidelines that they finalized and published for us in order to use that model to address our reopening.
Okay.
A promise was made, or an initiative was made, that the TDPS would have partnered with various officials from the Ministry of Health to move around with them as a particular unit in order to assess the situation with bars and, within that realm and within that retrospect, to make sure that compliance is being followed, that the rules are being adhered to and governed. We have not seen such for probably the great number of our membership. Okay. We have not seen such at all. Even persons in the high populated area, densely populated areas, who are not members with us as yet, they also share the same opinion, or they've expressed the same view. So, for the fact that police now but the government officials now jump out at this very opportune moment and decided, they can penalize across the board. Right? Just because we didn't like what the two videos that we saw that went to public, that went to social media, we didn't like that what we saw. So we want to chastise everybody.
Okay.
Right?
Peter all they want and Paul paying for.
Precisely my point.
Right.
But we since on on hearing that statement now, and then the threat made by the Prime Minister about closing the industry entirely again,
Right.
that we decided now, we said, I mean, we went to the media, we make all these articles, we make all this noise here, there, and everywhere. This press conference after the other, you know, and that kind of thing, trying to get these people under attention, trying to let them understand that, yo, this is wrong, right? This is completely wrong.
Right.
Part of the guidelines stated that they would have had patrols going around and doing what they were supposed to, and monitoring the situation. And the persons that were in breach of these acts were supposed to be held accountable. No two ways about it.
Right. But not
you know, precisely. No, you hold the whole industry accountable. And not, on top of that, I went even further. The people who made this thing public, their footage went public about the condition of their facilities.
Yeah.
2 out of these 3 are within a facility and are holding special restaurant licenses.
Okay.
The other majority of us now, but a lot of us, we are holding spirit retailer licenses. We now have the limitation to 8 p.m. But the real perpetrators, they get away scot-free as far as I can see.
They could still open until 10.
They could still open until 10. Right? So they can still open until 10. And who's to say that they wouldn't come back this weekend now and do the same nonsense and then do what? Get everybody down shut down entirely.
And then cause a whole shutdown of the industry again.
Precisely my point. So where's the accountability?
Wow. I didn't know that part about the license, huh?
Yeah, this was specified yesterday.
Something like that to me last night, but I don't think it clicked in my head until you explained it just a little while ago.
Yeah, that was specified yesterday, and it even went another step further where corporate got involved, corporate being the brewery, and together with the TTBAA, and corporate now has they went to a broad brush type strike as well too, and shut down our supply of direct product from them, right? So in order for us to veer us towards the training caused by the TTBA and so on, and making that mandatory to have to go back to buy from them. Why it is that you're talking about these thousands of bars now how to be held accountable across the board by a private entity, right? Just for the misdeeds of a select few.
Of a select few, yeah.
Right? That is angering. And it goes without saying that my membership, they're not upfront, they're not rich.
So what is the plan now? Because I mean I was talking to a bar owner who told me, say, boy, it's better I close because people working during the day. By the time you come off of work at 4 and you go through whatever traffic on the mains and wherever, and you're on your way home, you only have like a 2-hour period that you could stop in and maybe take a little. Most people are going to say, look, bar couldn't close at 8, let me go. You know, that's the way the people. So what is the next step then?
Well, the next step from here, we reached out to the assistant, the commissioner of police.
Yeah.
We sent a correspondence to get permission to stage a protest around the Queen's Park Savannah, opposite the office of the Prime Minister.
Okay.
Right? Well, we're calling out all bar owners and their employees. Representation. We will adhere, we have peaceful protests, we will adhere to the social distancing requirements and whatnot, and wearing of the mask.
Right.
Or when I find peace compliance. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we need to take a more forward approach now when it comes to this. It has even gone as far now where we seeking legal counsel about how do we address this situation and the unfair treatment.
Okay.
Right? Now, we've been begging the officials to reach out. We've been begging to reach out. We've done some from a diplomatic approach and from a playful one. To this date, we can't get audience, nothing at all. They ain't from them and they just passing us under the rug and just doing whatever they choose.
Okay.
And the people who should be held accountable not being held accountable.
And
right?
I get, I mean, in speaking with you, I get the impression that you all have no problem with the restrictions. You all have no problem with whatever you have to apply and making the adjustments. And all you all want is that the select few that have breached these protocols, that, they could deal with them however they decide to deal with them. But the rest of the bars should not, I just get at it, that's basically what you're saying. The rest of the bars should be allowed to operate regardless of what these people do over here. And I can agree with you 100% on that. I don't think that so many people should be affected by the misdeeds of a few. Because and that's why I asked you how many people are employed in this industry. Because now that you have had this adjustment in the opening time from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., I would imagine now that you would have to think about how many people you're calling out when they come to work or when we come to work. So somebody might have to stay home now and lose a day's pay because 2 or 3 bars decided that they're gonna, that they're gonna breach the protocols.
Yeah, that's correct.
And you also, in a statement, have no problem, and I want to make this clear for the public. You all have also made it very clear that anybody recording videos and highlighting these situations, you all have no problem with that. You think that these people that breaching the protocols should be highlighted. Right? So you have no problem with that.
They should be highlighted. They should be held accountable in my opinion. Because it's making it bad for everybody else.
All right.
We fight this thing for the last month and change.
Right.
To come up with these guidelines. To be able to give the government a plan about the industry going forward. Right? We started the association with that particular motive.
Right.
As a voice, a representation for the industry. We got good minds together, came up with the plan, we drafted the plan, and we forwarded it. It was also referenced by some of the other stakeholders, distributors, the alliance, and so on and so forth, and it went forward.
Okay.
But we had originally projected we were able to get something a lot more comfortable in the final approval.
Okay.
So we're very grateful for that. We commended the government very highly in the review.
Right.
Right. And we were happy, we were content, we were pleased.
Right.
So okay, this is where we are. We're doing this and that and the other. Make this improvement. We spend money so on that one and that one. And we say, right, we're ready. Some of the other members, they weren't able to afford it.
Right.
And they've been pleading to try and get some kind of assistance somewhere. We didn't get no attention for that. And it resulted them, no, they can't pay the landlord, can't pay staff, can't pay to restock the establishment.
Right.
And then, boom, that's it, doors closed. But then we get this first week here now, and everything going smoothly. We're doing this thing by the book. No complaints, nothing so far. And then, boom, shot Friday reach now, and complete disarray.
Yeah.
Right? No police presence during the course of the week to check and see what is going on in many areas. Right? It is only because I have a relationship, a sort of acquaintance relationship with some of the officers from the police station nearby, and they pass by. We ask them, we open it up to them, go they pass by and see, make sure what is going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And if they see anything that we're not paying attention to, that we need to adjust, please do so accordingly and let us know what is going on. So we seeking the approval of the relevant authorities. We seeking that we upholding our standards of what is expected of us. And I was able to use that to have that, to have that facility and have that as my advantage where I had this direct liaison with them. But other areas, other bars, they didn't have that opportunity. They didn't have that facility or that buffer. So and then it was zero patrol entirely. Friday they say come on happen now, all of a sudden they exercise on Saturday in St. James and Woodbrook, Prime Minister say we have 48 hours to get this thing properly. If he ain't like what you see over the weekend, then
they would make a decision based on that.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And then Saturday now you make your little patrol, you take a drive here, you take a drive here. You ain't like what you see, you ain't like what you see. And it's setting a bad precedent for us, period.
Okay. Well.
You know what I mean?
Well, Terran, I want to thank you for joining us. And that protest action there, you'll let me know if you get through with it and what day it's going to be and what time. All right, but we understand the plight of the bar owners. I've been advocating for the bar owners and their employees throughout this 3-month plus period, especially where the relief grants and so were not accommodated to them. And, I just felt, that bar owners have been getting a really, really, really bad end of the stick for the last 3.5 months or so. So hopefully good sense will prevail soon.
Thanks, man.
All right, but thanks a lot for joining us and giving us more information on this.
Cheers.
All right, cheers. So that is, I'll pick up the cheers from your way. All right, so that is Terat Mohan, the interim president of the Bar Owners Association of Trinidad and Tobago. And you heard what he had to say. You heard what the government had to say. They've restricted the time from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., but certain things were supposed to be put in place with police patrols and health officials, passing around as one unit and dealing with the situation, seeing that everything was being adhered to. Just a select few have breached protocols, and the entire industry will have to feel the brunt of the decisions made yesterday, where the opening time would be 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So they are still struggling to get their business and their economy back up and running, their economic activity back up and running. And we're going to take a break. When we come back from that break, we'll open the phone line and hear from you, the general public. So stay tuned for that. And as we go to the break, just one thing to mention, don't forget to check out Unique Woodworking Limited. That's right, Unique, 53 to 55 Don Miguel Extension Road in San Juan. And they deal in doors, commercial joinery, architectural, floors, staircases and decks, custom cabinetry, lumber and export. Go check them out. Unique Woodworking Limited. Morning to Harvey, morning to the whole team. What going on, Joseph? Hey, we'll be back after this. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Dr. Lovely Bird Center for Herbal Solutions. Research suggests that you can build your immune system with our dietary supplement 30 ppm colloidal silver. Some people are spraying their face masks with Dr. Love's 30 ppm strength colloidal silver. Users of the herbal 100% safe eye drops claim it has done wonders for their cataracts. Studies have shown that the double barrel combination of L-arginine and L-citrine can clean your arteries and heart. We also carry a wide range of botanicals like hydrolyzed collagen, testosterone booster, ozonated olive oil, black seed oil, flashback, go-less, prostate protocol. Users of our dietary supplements are claiming that they have gotten relief. Contact Dr. Love for more product information. Become a distributor and earn extra income. Contact Dr. Love Rebirth Center at PTSD Terminal Mall, Quezze, San Juan, and Trinity Mall. Call us on 366-4058 or 478-9222.
July is here, but times have changed. The advent of COVID-19 brought with it a number of adjustments in the way we conduct ourselves. And in September, students prepare to head back to school after 6 months of being away. A major interruption in the learning process. But this year's challenges for back to school extend far beyond the usual. The economic landscape in many cases make it impossible for some parents to provide the most basic and necessary items for their child for back to school. So, for yet another year, the team at Synergy Entertainment Television introduces our Adopt a Student initiative. For the last 3 years, through our relationships with guidance counselors, social welfare, public assistants, principals, and teachers from across the country, we are able to identify not just the students in need of support and assistance, but those with a special spark, a drive to achieve despite their circumstances. This year, with the support of viewers, corporate sponsors, and other philanthropic individuals, we intend to provide 40 students from across the country with books, uniforms, and a personal tablet or laptop for back to school. As always, throughout the campaign, the focus is on the student and not their negative circumstance. We place special emphasis on their interests, ambitions, achievements, and goals, as our intention continues to be to ignite opportunities for growth and development rather than implement yet another charity drive. If you wish to support this initiative, then join with us. Adopt a Student today. For details, contact us at 285-9036 extension 200 or email admin@synergytv.net. Adopt a Student. Become a part of the solution by making an investment in change. Welcome to Steamy Clean, a fresh new way to have your vehicle cleaned using 100% steam inside and outside. Located at number 141 Eastern Main Road, Barataria, Steamy Clean is ultra hygienic and the newest way to sanitize and keep your vehicle looking great. Eliminate odor, freshen upholstery, steam clean vents, remove bacteria and allergens. Steamy Clean uses only eco-friendly products, so have the child seat cleaned and protect baby from dust, germs and viruses. Steam Clean and shine your vehicle vehicle's exterior or steam wash your engine. They also offer professional and reliable underwash services. It takes just 10 minutes for the exterior and another 10 minutes for the interior. Steamy Clean, the all-in-one car cleaning stop. Check them out at number 141 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, or call 221-9274. The newest way to clean is now the best way to clean. Steamy Clean, open Sundays to Sundays, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
My parents' generation grew up with Royal Castle. From the first restaurant in 1968, when that distinctive, tempting aroma hit the air. Like never before, fried chicken with a special blend of local seasonings and a one-of-a-kind flavor down to the bone. Today, Royal Castle still have that same delicious taste, and I love it too. And the kids, they have more to enjoy. For me, the Castle is more than just nice food. It's we own, part of me and you, and is the real flavor of TNT.
Online reporting, new from the TTPS. Are you still prepared to stay silent? No. The TTPS is working hard to make the reporting of crime as easy, convenient, and worry-free as possible. You no longer have to visit a police station to make an official report. If you know of any suspicious or criminal activity, larceny, fraud, abuse of any kind, share the information on the TTPS app. But if you are the victim of a crime, visit our website and make an official report. Our officers will come to you. See something, say something. Let's work together to make Trinidad and Tobago a safer place, transforming the TTPS through technology.
All right, so we're back, and just before we go further on Breaking Dawn this morning, let me let you know to look out for Conversations with Zelisa. Now, Conversations with Zelisa, you could tune into this tomorrow, Wednesday, July 1st, from 10 a.m. All right, from 10 a.m. You could be informed, educated, and empowered, and seek answers to all your concerns about health, law, social issues, and much more. All right? And you can also keep an eye out for daily giveaways. So it's Conversations with Zelisa, 10 a.m. weekdays only on Synergy TV. And Zelisa, I think, might pop in tomorrow morning before she premieres her show at 10 a.m. All right? Also, I also want to let you guys know, don't forget, we have Introducing Black Lives, Trinidad and Tobago Conversation, which is a 4-part special program series that focuses directly on the state of the Afro-Trinidadian or Afro-Trinidad and Tobago in light of all that has occurred worldwide and the igniting of black consciousness. The opportunity presents itself for this country to internalize the process and take a broad look at where we are. So Black Lives Trinidad and Tobago Conversation brings together a strong panel representing a broad cross-section of Afro-Trinidad and Tobago. The conversation begins this Wednesday, July 1st, from 8 p.m. with a report card taking stock of the state of the Afro-Trinidadian for post-colonial from post-colonial to the present, an overview of the progress, problems, advances, and impact. And Black Lives Trinidad and Tobago Conversation begins this Wednesday from 8 p.m. only on Synergy TV. All right, from 8 p.m. So look out for that. So Introducing Black Lives Trinidad and Tobago Conversation and Conversations with Zelisa, all of that coming your way starting tomorrow, the 1st of July. Now, we want to open the phone lines and take some calls. We have 20 minutes before we close the program this morning, and I had 2 call-in interviews this morning, one on the merit system and one on the new opening hours of these bars and how it's going to affect them. So 235-5325. We also have the protests in Mova that we're going to take a look at in just a little bit. Let me just take about 3 or 4 calls. We take a look at the protests in Mova and some of the things that happened yesterday, as it relates to that. And then tomorrow with Acting Inspector Pitt, we'll get even further into that discussion. Hello, good morning.
Stephan, good morning.
Good morning.
I need to ask you to raise something. I'm not sure if you did it before, but it's not about what you just talked about. Okay? The hand sanitizers, they're saying that there's a toxic chemical in it. They did not give us the brand, so we don't know which it is. They're saying we have to read the labels to make sure it does not have methanol. Okay? But what about when we are going into business places and they have sanitizers there on the wall? There is no name on it. There is nothing telling us of the ingredients. And then there are people who putting it in our hands from a bottle. We don't know what is in the bottle. So I think they need to address this thing properly and let us know at least what the brand is so we would not buy it. And whoever is putting it for us to take it on the walls, or they should let us put a list of the ingredients, because how else would we know what they put into our hands?
Okay.
Thanks.
No problem. 235-5325. We are 20 minutes away from the hour of 8 o'clock this morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Morning.
Hello?
Yes,
hello?
Good morning.
Good morning, Stephan.
Yes.
Like I have a problem with the line. Let me move from in front of the television. Stephan, what I have to say with that gentleman with the Bar Association, right?
Yeah.
They have to come out in the large numbers because this government is just terrorizing everybody, right? Why I hear Chong say he going to check around the bars. Go and check the borders, not the bars, it's the borders need checking. You understand? But people have to get up. But this government is just terrorizing poor people. Okay, Stephan, you have a good day.
235-5325, 235-5325. As a matter of fact, Director, you have the Trotters receipt, because Trotters did issue a statement on that receipt here, because somebody's now asking about the 2.5% that they've been charging for PPE cost. Morning. Which I thought was very interesting. We take up a couple more and then we'll put up that. Hello? Okay, next caller, 235-5325. Hello, good morning. Hi, morning. Hello? Yeah, okay. All right, yeah. So Trotters, there was this receipt circulating with Trotters with this 2.5% for PPE to offset PPE costs. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Stephan.
Morning, Barakpa.
Stephan, Stuart Young and Rowley and the Alsing and them just paint a picture for the population that from the time they mention bar, is a set of low-life alcoholics that be patronizing these establishments. But they don't realize, and they don't send the true picture that the bars in this country contribute a lot to the economy of the country and provides a lot of recreation for the citizen of this country. They employ a lot of people that would not be employable in anywhere else. With this industry. Now, the first thing that does is to start to punish whatever, just like the lady just mentioned, to punish the people and punish the owners of the bar, because they just target them, because they would sit down in their fancy place and knock cocktails in Stallmeyer Castle with the who is who and feel that this industry doesn't contribute nothing to the population. This bar association person here, I don't know what they really do for the bar people in the country so far. They just shut down the business. They haven't done anything to help out or assist the bar owners. And now we come in and talking about want to go and protest. Now what? They come at the same union, OWTU, and the ones that deal with Ansa Makal. Is only when things don't happen, then they just come out from under the woodwork and try to do something to raise and to look relevant in society.
Okay. Well,
have a good morning, Stephan. Enjoy your trip.
Cool. But I think what happened is, I think the bar owners were working alongside, well, not alongside, but they were working with the restrictions and the stay-at-home restrictions and the closure of certain businesses that was called for by the government in the COVID-19 period. So they've been very obedient and understanding, although it has put a strain on their industry, and they've been working and having conversations with the government to see how they could roll back out and have these bars opened. And now that they're open, a select few has made the majority look bad. And that's where the problem is. So Now they have no other choice because they're trying to get a hearing, they're trying to get the ear of the powers that be, and apparently they haven't gotten it because a decision was taken over a 48-day period, a 48-hour period to make this decision to shorten the opening hours. So I don't think it's a matter of not making noise early enough. I think they understood the situation, they understood that COVID-19 was a highly infectious disease, and for that reason bars had to be closed, and they were, obeying the request of the government of Trinidad and Tobago. So can't fault them for that. I can't fault anybody for that. But now they're at a point where they've been given the opportunity to open, and a few of these owners have made it very bad. This is the receipt here from Trotters. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Yeah, morning. Is this Synergy?
Yeah, morning. Yes, you're live.
Yeah. Morning, Stephan. The merit system, boy, I want to find out something. How long does the offense stay on your record?
Okay, that's a good question. I'll find out.
Okay,
I will find out. That's a real good question. I wish I'd asked it myself. All right. But in the demerit handbook, if I go through that book, it is there. It tells you in the demerit booklet. All right. So you could go to, it's drivingtt.com, I believe is what Mr. Gonzalez spoke of yesterday, and you could see the booklet there, and it gives you all that information.
Okay, thanks for that. Have a good day, Stephan.
Yeah, Bridget. So 235-5225. We're taking a couple other calls. I'll see if I can find it here for you, how long it stays on your record, because I think I saw it there. Hello, good morning. It's on the government website.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, morning.
Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yes, go ahead, you're live.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, next caller. You have to listen on your television. You have to listen on your phone, not your TV. Listen on your phone, not your TV. Hello, good morning. We take one more. Yep. And then I'll just highlight this situation here, and then I'll read the
Good morning.
release. Morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, morning, sir.
As far as this demerit thing is concerned, I would like to know, why is the police giving a discretion for, say, a blown bulb? That is a recipe for corruption. Anything can happen there. A policeman will shoot his friend in a certain manner, and somebody doesn't know, or he can do whatever he wants. That I think it could be a specific thing, and Mr. Reis has indicated there or two ago that it could be you should be given a specific time in which you should correct that situation instead of depending on the police to do that. I have had situations where the police use their own discretion was not in a fair manner.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you. You see, and that's my point. The police, I don't think, if you're going to create a system, create it properly. Okay? I'm not saying that it's not created, it's not a good system, but there are little aspects of the system, from what I have seen, that is open too much to the human aspect and that emotional aspect, or even you could go down the road of victimization. Police might pull over somebody they don't like in the area, hit them a ticket, don't give them a chance, don't use discretion. You're leaving it up to the judgment and the discretion of a human being. Rather than saying, hey, in an instance like this, your first option is a warning. When you mandate it, then it's a little more solid. But for me to be, let's say I'm victimized, or I feel like I've been victimized, for me to go and contest and then go into court and have to prove that I was victimized is defeating the purpose of easing up the court system, because initially what you could have done is mandated it from the word go, so that you do ease up the court system and the driver is let off with a warning. And I guarantee you that driver that's let off with that warning will be conscious of the laws and what they need to they need to abide by those laws and the consequences to their actions the second time. It will. So if it's about training people, then that is the position or the approach that should have been taken, rather than hold a $1,000 ticket, hold a $2,000, hold a $1,500, hold a $450, hold a $500. And that's what I'm saying. So I'm just saying there are adjustments that could be made that are a little more people-friendly and understanding. All right? and when I mentioned it last week, I don't think people grasp, some people didn't grasp what I was talking about. I'm talking about reality. All right? So this trotter's receipt here was put up on social media. So somebody had one lamb burger, one double R, whatever that is, sweet potato fries, one shark bite, 2 Mai Tais, one Cadillac margarita. Director, ever drink a Cadillac margarita? I wonder how that tastes. Now, the bill came up to $726. And below the bill, there's nowhere quite like this. We have added a small 2.5% service charge. This service charge is to offset the PPE and health protocol costs. Thank you. Now, the patron found this to be ridiculous, that trotters would be adding in a service charge in order to offset their PPE cost. And I agree with that patron. When restaurants charge you premium prices, anyhow you take it. So, trotters did issue a statement. All right? Let me just get a statement here. And I have another statement. You have the Chimuk release. The Chimuk bakery release. One of Chimuk's bread vans were robbed yesterday after this protest action started. All right, here we have, no, that's Chimuk. I'm looking for the trotters here. Oh gosh, I have it here, you know. Is it here? No, that is police complaints authority. But, you know, the amount of things I get here, partner. All right, I pass it. Right, so trotters did issue a release. I'm going to find the release and read it for you because I want to make sure that you get their statement on it. To which point now I'm wondering if I'm in the right chat. All right? But take a call in the meantime now. Take a call in the meantime. Let me just pull this up. And I'll get to the Chimuk bakery release, which I've seen on my feed here. But let me take a call while I find this trotters release. Oh, look at it right here, so I can now find it. Hi, morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, morning, go ahead.
Yes, I just want to touch on the issue that concerning the shooting incident to the police officers in the Mova area, Caledonia to be specific. I'm not hearing the commissioner of police responding to the incident, because normally he's the one that does be speedily to answer anytime his name arises in anything like that. So I find he taking a little too long to respond to the matter, and I find it strange of him.
Okay.
And second, it was cleared up that the Chimuk van was not robbed. What happened? They stopped the van and they took out bread from the van and they put it back in. The van was not robbed. I just want to clear the on that.
Okay. All right, cool. Now, thanks a lot. That's on the police shooting in Mova, right? I think that's what he was talking about. Now, let me just give you Trotter's statement on this particular. You look, somebody say one lamb burger for $129, yeah, and they still want to charge you 2.5% service charge for PPE equipment or to offset costs for that. So nothing, it must cost them nothing. Statement by Trotters. To our loyal customers and friends, within the last 24 hours, there has been some confusion regarding the 2.5% additional service charge added to curbside and in-house deliveries. Since October 2019, Trotters has had a dine-in service charge of 12.5%. During the COVID-19 lockdown period, we charged 2.5% on curbside and deliveries in an effort to partially offset personal protective equipment, PPE, and other costs of COVID-19. We explained this charge clearly as a footnote on our bill in the spirit of transparency. After the recommencement of dine-in, we had reverted to the 12.5% service charge, but the footnote accidentally remained and caused some confusion. We have prided ourselves on delivering unsurpassed quality, consistency, service and value for the last 20 years. That will never change. while we fully respect and defend people's rights to their opinion, we have been surprised at the attacks on our team and our management. There was no need for these attacks and calls for boycott, especially from commentators that neither care for or support us. We will continue faithfully on that mission every day and have decided after discussions with customers to revert to the original 10% service charge of 2019. To all of our customers, we say a heartfelt thank you 20 years later for making us what we are today. Now that's their statement on that 2.5% that they've been adding in for the PPE gear. Some people weren't too sold on it. My thing is this. I only mentioned it this morning to say this. The receipt shows you the 2.5% that they added in. They've issued a statement explaining it. The choice is yours. Plain and simple. I have nothing else to say on that. Good. Chimuk Bakery also issued a statement on Facebook, and I'm going to read that to you. Here we go. Chimuk Bakery was robbed yesterday. To the fellas who #robbed our driver this afternoon in the name of justice for their fallen brethren, thanks for not injuring our employee. Amen to that. However, please inform all the shop owners that this bakery will no longer be delivering in your area. Let them know why too, #Lower Mova, #Juman, #Vegas, #Caledonia, #Second Caledonia. Now there was a video circulating which I failed to send to the director. I have it on my phone of fellas walking up the road with bread in hand after robbing the bread van. So understand that your actions now has led to the businesses in your community suffering from that service or being denied that service that would have serviced you in your community. So now they have been inconvenienced and can no longer provide that service to you. So you have to come out now to go get your bread. So it'll cost you more. Because you might have to take a taxi to go down in town and get it. Just saying. 2355325. We'll take two more and we wrap up. No, you know what? Give me the Mova protest without the audio, just the visuals. There was the interview that some of the residents had with Alexander that I didn't get to run this morning and stuff, but tomorrow we'll deal with all of that. Okay? Right, so we have so this was the protest action yesterday by Mova Junction, where residents in the area began turning things upside down. I hope nobody's vehicles, I don't think anybody's vehicles was damaged during this particular incident, but they're calling for justice based on the police shooting that took place on Saturday. And it's on the front page of your paper this morning in Newsday. Residents up in arms over police killings. Mova want justice. And I think they have a right to call for justice because we have all seen the video and it's questionable to say the least. We'll talk about it further with Acting Inspector Pitcomb tomorrow. But if this continues, and robberies, I mean, you're robbing the bread van, you're turning over the whole of Mova Junction. I mean, guys, listen. I know we've all been looking at the United States of America and seeing the protest action taking place there. And when I condemned it, and I said that is not the way to go, people were saying peaceful protests get you nowhere. I said, but Martin Luther King Jr. got somewhere. And while you're protesting in that violent manner, like what we saw in the States, I'm specifically speaking to the States, you are doing more damage to your own community and your own people than anybody else. And what do we have now? Reactions based on projections or what was projected and what we saw and what we condoned in some quarters abroad. So now when it reach home in Trinidad and Tobago, understand why. So we got to wrap up for today. Tomorrow we will get deeper into this protest and that police shooting. Until tomorrow, people, stay safe. Have a wonderful Tuesday and remember to stand for something or expect nothing. We thank Sergeant Brent Batson for joining us via the phone line and of course the interim president of the Bar Owners Association, Terran Mohan, and we hope that some sort of resolution and comes with the bar owners and some understanding is, absorbed by the police officers who have to conduct these traffic stops with the average citizen. So we go on later.
Good morning. Welcome.